Big crowd here tonight at Parramatta City Raceway in Sydney for the running of the $55,000 Peter Jackson Sprintcar Nationals that sees Phil March of South Australia on pole position, with Queenslander Nathan McDonald on the outside of him in the front row. Row number 2 is made up of Leland McSpadden of the United States in the Peter Jackson Zero car and Gary Rush in the Castrol number 2 machine. Brooke Tatnell in car number 8, the Shell Oils car, and Stephen Gall yet to arrive alongside of him, share row number 3. Row number 4 is car number 20, John Walsh, and starting alongside of him will be Bob Tunks in the 54 machine. From the next row on the inside, it's Robbie Farr in the KBT Overnight Express and Victorian David Anderson in the Wagga Mobile Cranes car. Next row, 99, Sid Moore on the inside, and outside is Anthony Orr. The next row is Kraft and Dawkins, Cricky and Kelleher, George Tatnell and Rush Jr., Danny Smith and Todd Wanless. The drivers come off turn number 4, 4 abreast on the parade lap, saluting you, the public, tonight, putting up with some showers. They're ready to go racing for $55,000. And the parade lap around the bottom turn was brief. These drivers are G'd up and they are ready to go racing. They're trying to get warmth into those tyres. At the business end of this evening, you'll find that Gary Rush will probably make a very immediate lunge towards the lead. It all depends whether Nathan McDonald can out-accelerate Phil March. A stellar field for the Peter Jackson Sprint Car Nationals at Sydney's Parramatta Raceway. The vehicles head onto the back straight. Pace vehicle will head back into the pits. And we thank you very much for your attendance here at PCR, and we salute our major sponsor, Peter Jackson Racing, for their continued support of Sprint Car and all speedway racing in Sydney at the Parramatta City Raceway. Section of the big crowd here in Sydney at Parramatta Raceway as the field makes its way around onto the back straight. Pace vehicle will pull in this time. We should go to a racing green 1 lap after that. Are they going to give them a green? Yes, they are. Off the front turn and down the outside goes Nathan McDonald. Right behind him, Leland McSpadden tries to get through. Stephen Gall goes up on the inside of him, and we've got a real race going for the lead here. Up in the top corner, Nathan McDonald comes out on the inside of Phil March of South Australia. They go through to take over the lead, and it's young Nathan McDonald driving superbly. March got hooked up badly. Back there in third spot is Stephen Gall, followed by Robbie Farr. Gary Rush is the next, followed by Leland McSpadden as they come off turn number 4 down the front straight. And the young Queenslander gets away. Here's the rest of the traffic. March goes through in car number 3, but Stephen Gall in 26 is up on the inside of him. McDonald coming around the top corner. There's the gap back to second. Up on the inside is Gall. Next is Farr. There's Leland McSpadden. Coming down on the inside into the bottom turn. Stephen Gall puts plenty of pressure on young March as they work the back straight. He's looking for second spot. March won't shift any ground. He's a pretty hard liner. As they come off the corner, Gall works away on the inside and will get him this time. Into the bottom turn. Gall goes in, but March's car's got a fair turn of speed as they come out of the corner and along the back straight. The race leader will have traffic to contend with. There he is, going down the front straightaway. Here's the battle for second. On the inside, pressing hard, is Stephen Gall, but he just can't get the line of the next turn because March keeps going to the high side, and here these two come up on lap traffic as they go down the front straightaway. McDonald is about 4 car lengths ahead of Stephen Gall as they work their way onto the back straight. March still giving chase, and Robbie Farr is back in third. The dice continues between these two. March goes back into the second spot, and Gall goes straight back under him again and gives him a knock for good measure, just to let him know to look out because he's serious. We've had 1 upside down, 2 upside down in the top corner. 1 is the race leader, Nathan McDonald. And McDonald has an alcohol fire going behind him. He is unaware of it. So flames coming out of the tank and he was your race leader. And has tangled with Todd Wanless of Queensland. Officials very quickly on the scene to douse any thought of flames there, and McDonald, who was driving so comfortably and well within himself, has come into contact with Todd Wanless in the number 24 car, who has severe front end damage and will require a pickup and tow back to the pits. As they put the cone out on the back straightaway, and we're ready to go racing again. Watch this for a restart. March comes up. Gall is ready to strike. March goes, so does Gall. Next is Robbie Farr, and Farr, Leela McSpadden winds up with David Anderson in his cockpit as they come down the front straightaway into the bottom turn. They hang into the bottom turn now as they come out onto the back straightaway. David Anderson gets by McSpadden, and McSpadden gives him a nice old swisher. Brooke Tatnell goes around the outside of the pair of them, and Stephen Gall coming down the front straightaway, putting plenty of pressure on. Stephen Gall, the Sydney driver, and it's March from South Australia. Head to head as they go down the back straightaway, resembling last year's race when Steve Kinser and Skip Jackson rode side by side for the entire distance. Into the bottom turn, Gall works the low side of the racetrack, but I'll tell you, March's car's got plenty of power. He comes down the back straight, sets it in mid-track, the car handling beautifully. Back behind him is Stephen Gall, who'll work harder and harder as the laps dwindle. They move on to the back straightaway again. 25 laps remain. Phil March of South Australia has Stephen Gall right on his tail, and Gall working the inside line of the racetrack. Robert Farr is back in third, followed by Anderson, then Brooke Tatnell, followed by Leela McSpadden as they head into the bottom turn and now come onto the back straight. Absolutely nothing between them. The track is starting to slicken up. And what March is doing is using the cushion very effectively as he goes into the bottom corner. There's probably an 8-car gap back to Robert Farr, who runs in third place. Similar gap then to David Anderson. And then up on the inside, it's Brooke Tatnell. Gall is throwing just about everything at March, and I don't think he's going to be able to pull him in. It all depends on lap traffic. They're coming up to some of it now. Anthony Orr will be the first car to come up into the gun barrel of Phil March. He eases it off a little bit this time, March, because he knows he's up in traffic. Gall won't let off as he comes down the back straight. Here's the cars that they're starting to gain on now. March will go probably to the high side of Anthony Orr. There's a couple of them here as Gall goes through on the inside. March will come back at him, though, once again on the inside as they come up on a lap car. No, that didn't work. And Robert Farr now starts to make the big moves as they come down the back straight. There's Gall, your race leader. The black car runs in second. Then the car on the inside is third. And now second is Robert Farr. Down on the inside of March. Try to put plenty of pressure on him. He might get him, but he'll have to work away at him on the inside for a few more laps. Stephen Gall, who's promised such brilliant performance in all the major classics, is the race leader. Farr gets down on the infield a little too much, and lets Brooke Tatnell through on the inside. Now, Brooke Tatnell at this stage is looking a chance. Here's our race leader, Stephen Gall. He comes down the front straight. But Brooke Tatnell, as they go to the bottom corner, is still in this with a big chance. He makes a big move here on March. Farr is once again back behind Tatnell as Stephen Gall goes around the outside of George Tatnell. There's the 11 car going through, and back behind him is Phil March. And now, coming into the bottom turn, it's Robbie Farr who pushes Tatnell up high. Tatnell gets the drive and moves up on the tail of March. They head down in the bottom corner, and it's this fantastic scrap going on here. This is for third place. Robert Farr up on the inside, hoses March off. Now gets up on the tail of Tatnell as they go to the bottom corner. Now gets down the inside of Tatnell as they head along the back straight. And these cars are starting to catch Stephen Gall. Gall just comes out of the bend. Here's the scrap now for second. Robert Farr up on the inside of Brooke Tatnell. Brooke Tatnell skips it in there. Almost drifts up into the tail of Dawkins, the Tasmanian. And now Farr has to settle himself down because Tatnell can see Stephen Gall. That's all there for the taking. But Tatnell elects to run the high side. That's Robert Farr who makes up all this ground on the inside of him. Almost spun at that time. McSpadden's coming into it. This race is still wide open, but here's the man they all have to beat. Stephen Gall, the Valvoline machine, down to the line with 12 laps to go. Brooke Tatnell in second. Third is is Robert Farr. Fourth is young March, and they're followed by Leland McSpadden, who almost spun at that time. He might get March on the back straightaway. He does, and looks a chance here for a third. March goes out around the outside of the pair of them and repasses, and a beautiful move down the front straight. Fabulous racing going on here. There's Gall, still leading it. Brooke Tatnall's about 3 car lengths back behind him. They've still got 11 laps to go as they come down the front straightaway. Brooke Tatnall in second. Third is still Robert Farr, and Leland McSpadden just gave our South Australian driver a big swoosh, let me tell you, and then spins himself in front of the mob, and then spins it around and goes back out onto the racetrack again. Doesn't bring out a yellow flag, but that costs March the race. Stephen Gall getting skaty. The car is going off. Brooke Tatnall is lunging at him. Brooke Tatnall could be the mover here as they come off the top corner down the front straightaway. They still have 8 laps to go. Gall using the low side of the racetrack, but the track has turned slick on them and there's nothing he can do. Anyone's drifting from the inside to the outside has got to try and catch the tail. Here comes Gall off the top turn, 7 laps to go. He works away at the inside of Sid Moore, takes him as the amber lights come on. So there is a stoppage. Stand by, folks. 8 of the best coming your way. Brooks ready to give it everything, and so too is Stephen Gall, who'll keep them down here to a mild roar. They're set to go. Time to gas and go. And off goes Gall, and Tatnall immediately goes to the high side. He's going to try and pass him down the front straightaway. He can't do it. He tries as they go to the bottom corner. Now ducks back on the inside. McSpadden goes in under Farr. Johnny Walsh is coming on like gangbusters in the 20 car as they head up into the top corner. 7 laps to go this time. Gall hugging to the inside. They come out of the turn down the front straightaway. Gall holding to the inside and Tatnall trying to pass him on the outside. Nothing between them as they go down the back straight. Back in third is Robbie Farr. Up into the top corner again. Tatnall winds up. Here he comes down the outside. Can't do it. Tucks in behind Gall as they go to the bottom corner. Now he'll work to the outside on the back straightaway. There's not enough left there. He's got to make a dive in and underneath him. Now he tries to pass him on the outside as they go the back straightaway. McSpadden in trouble. And here comes Tatnall again. Side by side into the bottom turn. Brooke Tatnall goes in. Brakes go on just a dab there as they head down the back straightaway, coming around with 4 laps to go. Here comes Tatnall on the outside. He might have him this time. Yes, he has! Brooke Tatnall with an outside pass goes to the bottom corner, takes the win away in the Shell Oil's number 8 machine. Second spot holding down is Stephen Gall, and Robbie Farr is back in third. Coming around now with 3 laps to go, Brooke Tatnall. He's done it hard. David Anderson in a spot of bother trying to pick up third as they come down the front straightaway. Into the bottom corner, he's chasing Robbie Farr, so too was Walsh and Gary Rush Jr. Brooke Tatnall, car number 8, comes out of the top corner, down the front straightaway. He's got 2 laps to go. Gall runs in second. Third is Robert Farr, trying to hold on to third place. David Anderson is coming at him. Brooke Tatnall as they go the back straightaway. Up into the top corner, he switches to the inside. Anderson is dorking all over the tail of Robert Farr. He has 1 lap to go as Peter Kraft down on the inside of Anderson as they make their way onto the back straightaway. Anderson tries to go around him. They tangle. Robert Farr's going to pick up third, but the win for the Peter Jackson Nationals goes to Brooke Tatnall. Second will go to Stephen Gall, and third will go to Robbie Farr. Fourth goes to Peter Kraft. Fifth to David Anderson. Sixth to Johnny Walsh. Seventh to Russ Jr. Cricky finishes in 8th. 9th went to March. 10th to Leland McSpadden. What a fabulous race. He deserves a big one. He's got it tonight. What about the man who finished in second and the boy who finished in third? Some big prize money on offer tonight for the main event, the Peter Jackson Sprint Car Nationals. What a fabulous race. After 2 nights of racing, Brooke Tatnall has just had the biggest paycheck of his career being written for him. $11,000 for Brooke Tatnall. $7,000 to Stephen Gall and $4,000 to Robert Farr. You look like you're a man on the mission early in the race, and I gave you every chance of winning it.
Yeah, I thought we were never a good chance to start with too. The car was real good early, and after about sort of 10 laps and it started to go away, the track started to go away, and it wasn't suiting our car as good as what it was early. And then I'm thinking of starting to buzz wheels and thinking, oh, we're going to be in a bit of trouble. But we held on, and it was a great race. I really enjoyed it.
In basketball terms, you used the offensive to start with, then you had to go to a little bit of defence to try and hold off David Anderson and also the man that was coming on strongly, Peter Kraft.
Yeah, I kept seeing a lot of blue cars sticking their nose under me, and I thought, oh, we could be in a bit of trouble if we make a mistake. But luckily the car was real good and held on pretty good, so we got lucky.
Well, you didn't get the 11 grand, you didn't get the 7, but 4 ain't too shabby.
No, the run we've been having, we'll take anything we can get at the moment.
It was a fine drive, well done.
Thank you.
Steve, I guess there are good nights and bad nights, but 7 grand's not as good as 11 grand, but it's better than 4 grand.
That's for sure, Mike, but it was a very, very interesting night. The track was quite difficult, actually, because it changed pretty drastically through the main race, and our setup worked very well at the start, and I chased the wrong line, and towards the end I should have ran the cush up on turn 3 and 4, where Brooke capitalised on a very good line and managed to pass me, so congratulations to Brooke.
No doubt about that, but early in the race where you're able to hold out and fend off most of them, do you think it was yours at that stage?
I felt comfortable, yeah. The race seemed as though it was in the bag, and I thought the Valvoline car was going to do the job, but, you know, the wrong line. And we had a lot of build-up of pressure on the left rear tyre. Our bleed-offs wasn't working quite as good as we imagined, or what I thought, and that obviously didn't help the drive off the turns.
Well, you're still doing well in the Peter Jackson Sydney Premiership. You look like you might be on the way to the States with another point score. It's a great year.
It is a good year. It's very interesting. Our package is coming together very well, and the team's working extremely well to get it that way, and we hope that the consistency can pay off towards the end of the year.
If you had to give a one sentence how you feel at the moment.
Basically disappointed. I'd like to have won for sure, but no, it was good. I can't really complain about that. The Peter Jackson race is an excellent race to do well in, so I'm very, very happy to finish in that second place, but first would have been a lot better.
And your bank manager at least will call you Stephen on Monday.
Yeah, he'll ring me up and say he's happy.
I was told at school, good things come to those who wait. Did you have to wait this long though?
I wish we hadn't, but after tonight it was worth the wait, so we're all really happy with tonight, and we've had a bad year, but maybe this is a turning point for us. Maybe 1994 we're going to win some more. So,
how much of a relief is it to finally get the monkey off your back?
Well, we said the monkey's been off our back once before, and he came back. So, but after tonight, if it is the monkey off our back, we're really happy. Everything's working well for us, and there's a couple more major races we need to win for the season, and it'll really make our day.
Stephen Gore looked like he had it, but he was working the low side of the racetrack, and anyone who knows you knows how you like to get out into the free air out there, and you're able to. You had to make 4 or 5 attempts at it. Did you think that it was a wasted cause, or if you stuck with it, you're going to succeed?
I never thought it was a wasted cause because, as you say, I like the high line, but I like running where no one else is because there's no use sitting behind someone and waiting for them to make a mistake. In road racing, it's a little bit different. You can afford to do that. In Speedway, the way I like to drive is aggressive and try something different. We tried it tonight, and I knew Stephen was having a few problems. He was getting looser as the night went on, and he was running mid-track and washing up. So I knew if we were stuck with the high line, got our momentum going, and made sure we made the right move at the right time, we could pull it off towards the end.
You did just that, and I have a message from your bank manager. He wants you to go to dinner with him this week.
They can go with him again this week. I don't want to have any part of that. So
well done, so that was a great drive.
Thank you. It's come at a good time.